Hello, my name is Tim Edwards and welcome to the Tim G. Edwards Music YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you something that it's going to blow your mind. It's just some simple chords that's typically used in praise and worship songs. And I've already taught you how to play some major chords like G major, C major, and D, but I'm going to teach you a different way to play these chords that requires very little finger movement, and it just has a great tone. But these three chords, in addition to a couple others, are used in thousands of praise and worship songs. I typically use these chords quite often in lieu of some of the other major chords that I've taught you in previous lessons. So we're going to have a great time in teaching you these chords, so just stick around and let's get started. Okay, in previous lessons I've taught you how to play chords of G major, C major, D major, E minor, but I'm going to teach you some additional ways to play these chords, and they're very easy to play and requires very little hand movement. Primarily you're just moving two fingers the whole time, and you're planting two fingers in the same place the whole time. So I'll teach you one chord at a time, and then I'll teach you a progression that you can play these chords and practice with a practice backing track. And then at the end of the lesson I'll give you some songs that typically use some of these chords, and then I'm going to be teaching you some praise and worship songs after this lesson as well. So let's get started. We'll first look at the chord of G major, and again, if we zoom in, we typically play G major using the first finger on the second fret of the fifth string, second finger on the sixth string of the third fret, and then your pinky or little finger on the very first string of the third fret. And that's how you play a G major. So this is a different way to play G major. You just simply keep your fingers in place there, and then place your third finger or your ring finger on the string above your little finger on the second string of the third fret. So that's the B string, and that'll make that a D note. So that's what it'll sound like. That's without it. And I would encourage you to use this chord for most G major chords. Now, some songs you might sound better with just a typical G major without that D note being played there. Okay, but your D is being sounded here, and then you're just adding it again, just an octave different. Okay, now to make the C note, this is what's really going to be easy for you. If you look at the chart above, to make a C, you just simply move these two fingers down one string. Move these two fingers down one string, and you keep these two fingers planted on the same strings. So you don't pick the top string, you'll just pick strings number 5 through 1 on the downstroke, or just simply mute it with your thumb. So here's a G major. So this is a C add 9 is what you call this note. C add 9, by keeping that D note planted there. So G, C. So that's a lot better than going from G and then stretching to the typical C. Now to make it E minor, you just simply move these two fingers down to the second fret, first finger on string number 5 of the second fret, finger number 2 or your middle finger on string number 4 of the second fret, and you keep these two fingers planted on that third fret of the first and second string, and again you strum all strings but the top strings. Just maybe touch that with your thumb, or you can lean finger number 1 up against that to mute it, or just simply don't play string number 6. So that's E minor, and this is what you call E minor 7. E minor 7. Okay, typically I showed you how to play E minor that's E minor, okay? E minor 7 will be like that. So again, review, you have G major. Then move these two fingers down, one string each. That's C major, or C add, that's C add 9. And then move the two fingers to the second fret. That's E minor. Okay. Now let's look at a D sus4. D sus4. In previous lessons I've taught you how to play a D, okay? And to play the D, it's the first finger on string number 3 of the second fret, and then finger number 2 of the first string of the second fret, and then finger number 3 on the second string of the third fret. To make a sus4, just simply put your finger down again on this bottom first string of the third fret. So these two fingers, if you recall, are in the same place as where we were playing C add 9, E minor 7, and the G major chord. So the only fingers we moved were these two fingers, 1 and 2. Okay, so review, we got G, C add 9, E minor 7, D sus4. Now that D sus4, you can hear it's is using really for a sustain. You can just lift off on your little finger and let it be a D major chord. See? D sus4, D. So I typically use that a lot. Okay, so to review the chords again, one measure, G major. You keep these two fingers planted on the first and second strings of the third fret. C add 9, G major, C add 9, G major. Now we're going to switch to E minor 7, D sus4, and then D. Fantastic. So these chords are very easy to play in this manner, and it requires very little stretch on your fingers compared to the previous chords. So you're just simply moving these two fingers, 1 and 2, and keeping fingers 3 and 4 planted on those. Okay. Hey, if you like this lesson so far, be sure and hit the like button sometimes at the end of this lesson, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure and subscribe to my channel. It's free. It's no obligation. It just bookmarks my channel on your subscription, so I'll be easier to find. And at any time during the lesson, you can just kind of touch this subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner and subscribe to my channel as well. I appreciate all of my subscribers as well. Okay, now we're going to pivot to practice backing track number 12. We're going to play a simple progression as shown above here of G, and then C add 9, G again, and C add 9, G again, and then E minor 7, and then D sus4, and then D, okay? And as far as the strumming pattern on this, just simply strum down, up, down, up, down, up. Just a simple rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So it'll go something like this before we pivot to the track. It'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2. G, E minor 7, D sus4, D. Okay, we're just going to simply repeat this progression 4 times on the practice backing track. So again, on the video, you'll see me play both hands as far as the strumming and the chord. You'll see the chord progression up above, and you'll hear me play on this track. So you play along with me. So let's give it a try. So what did you think? Beautiful sound. I can hear many praise and worship songs played with these chords. So I encourage you to visit practice backing track number 12 as often as possible and just play along. The first section, it just plays along like we just completed a while ago. You can hear me play. The second part of that practice backing track number 12 shows me playing, but you can't hear me play. That way you can watch me play. You'll have the chord progressions noted up above, but you can play along and hear yourself play versus me. And these chords are used in thousands of songs, and especially praise and worship songs, because they're so easy to play and requires very little movement of the fingers. Such songs as Lord, I Lift Your Name on High, Holy is the Lord, Waymaker. These three particular songs, in the next 2 or 3 lessons, I'm going to teach you how to play those songs using a variation of these chords, and just to show you how easy these songs are played as well. So this concludes our lesson, and I appreciate you viewing my channel and sticking around. And be sure to tell friends about my channel. If you know of anyone that would like to learn guitar and starting from the beginning, this is the perfect channel for them to get started. They can just start with the introduction to the guitar, and then start through guitar lesson number 1 and make their way through guitar lesson number 12. It'll just kind of teach you just a gradual steps in learning how to play the guitar, starting from the simple chords up to some of the major chords that we're doing today. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel after the lesson. And again, if you like this lesson, be sure and hit the like button. And again, if you have any questions or comments, be sure and note those in the comment section, and I'll review those. If you want to make any suggestions or song requests, then note those in those comment sections as well. So have a great day, and God bless you.